Let there be peace and love. Welcome to Satsang. I often speak of a strong background. What does it mean? You see, in India, they have this tradition, nearly seeker or not, to know about the scriptures. At least their beliefs of something that's something else. And the gods here often are into pictures or the symbol of them, till the main scriptures who says you are that. And so there is a solid background that you want or not in this culture. And it is not considered if you make it use or not. It's like that. It's in the culture. We, as Westerner, from my generation, we came there to attracted to have this teaching alive. A teaching which corresponds to a search of something else than the materiality which is offered here. But we come without background. It's wild. It's only the search with great luck, great merits, which guides us. And we form our solid background by coming to satsang, by understanding that it looks like I may understand at once what is said, but I need to hear it again and again. So it's also a way to shape, to solidify the direction which is contrary, opposite to the direction given by the world. Generations have passed. So for me, with the kids of those who are in satsang, I think it is our duty to make them know that this exists, that some other message has an emphasis, even if they don't understand. To create a solid background as soon as possible. And I say that because this morning I have teenagers at home, and I said, at least now, since it is not an obligation, don't forget to come even a time of a glimpse to satsang. I saw that it was not very welcomed. So I said, okay, now the deal will be, okay, I accept you don't come, but if you can tell me at least one sentence, important sentence, that you know from satsang. And they had not to think. One told me, you are that. And the other told me, the real I, you cannot feel it, you cannot conceptualize it, and you cannot sense it. So I said, okay, very good. If the next time we have the same deal, sometimes I will still oblige you to come for a glimpse, But when there is this deal, you tell me another sentence. Very important. So I was very happy. Because you see, it means the background has been there. It is there. Of course, there is a time for everything. There will be a time or not. They will take benefit of that. But still, it's very good. So, we didn't have that background, but we form it by coming. And I cannot enough insist that we have not to count months or years in this. We dedicate our life to this. And even when it's done, there is a liking for it. You see, it will be no more a need. But how can you reject satsang? Where? Who will do that? Who will put that into question? So like that. And just today I see this, some sentence from kids probably. Or is it an adult who did that? This one shows that it's already an awareness. I know that I am suffering. If it is a child, it's already great. People are so ignorant otherwise. So, very good. And of course, not that it has to become a religion. I guess, or I hope you understand that. It has not to be imposed after a certain age. That's why it's good to do it young. Yeah.
So, relating to this, I do have a question with small children. When you introduce this topic of satsang or what we hear here, is it good for them to wait for them to ask the questions? Or how do, because sometimes I sing mantras and so they ask me, what is Shiva? But like, why am I singing Shiva? and
No, you reply, that's all.
And who is Shiva? And they said, well, Shiva is everything. Kind of, I try to tell in some ways to them, but they're very young, and I sometimes don't know if this is a good thing to give them already something to hold on to, as you call it, a solid background, or should it be more the way that they discover it for themselves?
No, you just give the whole thing at once and they will ask you questions or not. But you see, for kids also, okay, it's very good to say what is in fact Shiva, but you can also say it has a shape, you see, in a certain locus, and is like this and so on, and tell stories of Shiva, and then also tells, but there are other readings, it's the symbol of, and so on. You can also,
They're very young still, so 5 and 3.
Yeah,
So.
but that's why it's good to have a little image of Shiva. Even you see from very young age someone, a being, sitting in lotus posture, they will see, well, generally they are standing, lying, whatever, but this is not so often. So it's good, they are printed by a few things. Anyway, this comes because of this morning's anecdote. So now what about you? What about you? Also, because there is some kind of context now, I like to say that, okay, you come to satsang. I hope, I wish you don't keep the thought, oh, it's not for this life, or it's not for me, I'm not worth of, because all this is the talk of the mind, and you hear, don't keep a thought. So, you come to satsang, which is, after all, the dead end of incarnations. It brings you there. So, we can say this last incarnation, as long as this body is alive, it is called an incarnation. This last incarnation is alive because there is a surge, and even if that you are freed from it, there is a span of life of this body. What is this span of life? It is what is glued to that, what made it also to be incarnated. So it's like you enjoy your merits, you suffer whatever was the consequences of something, or also you fulfill desires that you wish it or not. You burn what you need to burn because you threw it in your mind, in the air. So it has to be finished. So don't be surprised because you come to satsang not to have a linear, peaceful life. You may have it too, but you may have periods of time where it's not like this because of these reasons. So, of course, meeting the Guru removes the belief that you have a destiny. As a belief, but the past, this is past, you see. This is past and the mind attached to it. That has to continue its span of life. And it's the last life. So you burn it very quickly, once for all. By itself. You have no control over that. And that's why those examples are given. You see, you have a ball in hand, you think you are a doer, then through satsang, you let it go, because it is the destiny, it is whatever you think of your life, of yourself, you throw it, or you just give it up, and it still holds. It still holds. For some will be short, so some will be till they die. Who cares? Who cares about that? Unavoidable. It's just, it appears so. It appears so. Who will start to try to control the appearance? It has no meaning. Once you have seen, it is just an appearance. It is not what I am, even though it appears because I am it, and disappears. So if you have the luck, and you have the luck to come to satsang, always remember that you are not what appears. Or simply, if it is so for you, abide in yourself, and the rest will be played on and off. So, any question? Any search is there? Please. Don't lose your time in trying to pretending not to have anything.
All what you say seems and feels and is clear to me somehow.
Yeah, lucky.
And somehow so clear to say that whatever is happening or in the mind of the person and so on, and yet there is something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I am finding myself, it's in the end of the day, noticing that, so who is knowing this?
Mm-hmm.
That this, what I am speaking now, is clear.
Yeah.
But I know myself to be also, I went to theological department to study, and I have these things, also in a nice intellectual way. And this thought, this very, what I had just said, resonates also with something that I also learned actually from the Western scriptures, but no matter what. Anyways.
Yeah.
And in the end of the day, I am asking, I am feeling that there is somebody who has it, who has it something, who has this, who is now speaking. Do you understand?
No. Yeah, but you are not that person.
No.
So it doesn't matter. What do you want me to say? You can have all those, see, all those considerations. It comes from, after all, self-inquiry.
Yes.
Huh? But it doesn't ask further answers. You are just so, okay, you have those considerations. Now, I keep quiet where I don't touch even that.
Yes, somehow I know it.
This poor tree! He was meditating so
Sorry.
It's a being coming to satsang,
Yes, but why is it that my mind somehow sails on this screen, so
sails. Yes, yes.
Yeah, like a really high flag on, and
habits. This is the how you call it, the rolling habits.
yes.
On top of it, if you feed them, it's no more a habit, it is looking like real. But otherwise are habits. That's what I say, you see. This world, your body-mind will interact still, probably strongly because of past habits, strong habits. And not, you cannot count from where, who cares also, habits. So, generally we deal only with habits, thinking it's real and it's... But here, you have to know, okay, strong habits, but what do I hear in satsang? I cannot be a habit only. And it comes and goes, it goes on changing. I am that which is always there besides of any circumstance, and then you keep quiet there. You see, you don't keep quiet. Don't speak of a state. You don't keep quiet where your discrimination leaves you.
And I realize well that this is my problem, or I find myself there often. And so I want to ask you, like oftentimes you have said this to me, that keep quiet. And believe me, I try. But I do realize that.
Yeah, but listen, to keep quiet, I don't ask you to keep quiet. No. Keeping quiet, I mean know that all this is the mind. Once you know that, what can I say? I mean, then it's over. The thing is over. Keep quiet. Have a moment of abiding where you don't need to objectify.
Yes, okay, then comes another why I because there seems to be an idea that like a comparison idea.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, like I guess sometimes I have it and sometimes I actually don't have it.
Yeah, tell me.
But some idea that some idea of whatever you call it, enlightenment or this realization of the self, somehow it's so clear, like right now, and yet, and
but
this is just stupid talk right now.
Okay, but then don't speak, honor that. It's a habit to honor something else, but now I tell you, honor that. What to say?
Honor.
Don't fight those words. I mean, it's always indications. Huh? Honor that. What is to honor? When somebody asks you to
say it.
I'm not good with examples. Yeah, for example, you see, you come to the guru and you say, how can I be grateful to whatever? The guru would say, honor that, honor what made you so happy, so free. Honor that. So being that, as you always have been, but being that now consciously somehow, that is the thing. Honor that, you see. And then what else? You can also say abiding in yourself, not mixing it with, oh, I don't abide because, then again you are fascinated by the person. Actually, you always abide in yourself. Honor that. So it is the same, abiding in the self, or honor that. When it becomes the most important thing in your life, you will not want to fall into this talk of the mind, which is so troublesome, so fake also, because it cannot reach the truth. That you have to hear in satsang, no? Is the most important.
Why do you say when it becomes the most important? I feel it already is.
Okay, I didn't speak to you then. But then try not to give too much importance to the person who is suddenly asking and feeling that doesn't apply to me.
Yes. Thank you.
Could you talk about this sentence, nothing ever happens? Because if there is no creation, where is the karma of the ball which is rolling?
No creation as reality. You'll always forget that little thing. What is realization? It's when you realize, oh, where I was, I always have been myself. And my is not there, but it doesn't matter. It's a way to speak also. I've always been this self. Okay. And from there, of course, everything else is devoid of reality. So the question, the world appears, looks like, you see, it appears. You are all sitting there because I'm sitting there and so on. It appears. But it is devoid of the sense of its substance, real substance. I will never mistake this body, and I don't mistake you for this body. You see, appearing or not, it's not even an interesting question then. It's very important, probably. It's one of the questions that students ask. But you see, you don't have also this view. Imagine, it is even in the scriptures, you will confirm it or not, but it is written, some are enlightened alive, realized alive. What does it mean, alive? What does it mean? It doesn't apply to the real thing. Alive means there is still this body alive. Out of compassion, the self out of compassion maybe, so that after all, the seekers who still think they are in this apparent world, they can hear about the self, the it, about that. Let it be through words, let it be through their simple realization. Why do you want that? Why? It's a concept, you see. It's a logical, probably a logical way to think. But you see, the mind has no realm here. It cannot tell the real thing. So that's why, instead of having endless answers that you even cannot take because you don't understand, it's not logical, it's paradoxal. You are always left in a paradox. So I always request, tell if there are questions, in order for me to throw you back to the essential, which is go and see who has got this question. It's because I identify myself for what I think I am. That's why the thinking, the thought is very important. Needs an answer, an indication. You will have an indication, not an answer, because the answer is when the questioner goes back to its source, where the mind goes back to its source, means where it disappears. It appears, it has to disappear. And the event of disappearance is still not it. Yet it looks like it happens this way. You see? So here nothing ever happens. As reality, as mirage, it may happen. It may not happen, but it doesn't stir up a thought anymore.
But if reality is impossible to see, to conceptualize, to objectify, how can it ever be found? I mean, how is it even possible to look at oneself? How?
When you don't grasp the mind. And it's not done because you see the one who has the mind, the owner, I am born, which is a thought, but one cannot sense that, you see. Where I was, I am a thought. I am a thought. What?
You were saying it is seen once you don't grasp the mind, and then how can I see it? And you say it can be seen once you don't grasp the mind.
Yeah. So I don't grasp the mind. But for that, it's true. If you still believe you are real, and of course, then of course the world also, it's an impossible task. I am born, cannot remain alone. It has to exist, and it exists in many ways, but also in thinking, in many ways. It attaches itself. So when I indicate, don't grasp how, without grasping immediately another why or whatever. Just do it. Just do it. What's there? You can reply, doesn't matter. What's there? Yeah, exactly. It is that direction, you see. But for the mind, it's not interesting. There is nothing there. And he will tell you a fantastic saga of boredom, of all this for that, and all this. There are many volumes. So don't be deluded with the talk of the mind. I will repeat it again and again till you give enough time means the moment, to be without a hook. And then you may be attracted. If you don't listen how boring it is, you may be attracted more. You see? And then you will be very happy to follow what I say. Don't worry. But don't keep your questions in a drawer. I really prefer that you have to start the discrimination, or it's the mind, I don't go there, and if you can't, you ask. You ask. Yeah? Okay. I remember, you see, when I was with my master, when I met him and was at that time with my master, I had many questions, of course. And every answer, or non-answer, but which was taken as an answer, was carefully taken, but still with the mind. So there were understandings and then deeper understandings. It was still going in the way of the mind, you see? Till I heard one once, but after a while means years for me, don't land anywhere. That made more effect for some reason than the other indications. And yet I never heard, imagine how one can be deaf, but it's just to explain. Try to follow what is said in satsang, even if we are deaf. I never question the owner of, or the doer of not landing anywhere. Mm-hmm. So probably first we empty a lot the mind till this becomes obvious that I also is too much. Not only I am this or I am that. There is something like I also is too much. And here starts the real satsang, in fact. Because the target is this one. The so-called subject we believe we are. And I insist, I find that if we cannot take it at once, I am that. If the mind comes with so many things regarding that subject, if we cannot take it, so the negation is excellent. I'm not this, I'm not that. Neti, neti. It will bring you to the essential. Oh, I don't follow you very well. Yeah, you can come a bit.
Okay, I could not follow what
yeah.
you said. said I is too much.
Ah, but this is the main thing, yeah. It's very difficult to follow that one. I is too much. Yeah, because you see, it's because... Who says so? Tell me now. Who spoke to me?
It was intellectual. My mind.
Yeah, but the one you think you are, that is it is I, no? It's very concrete. I, but it's charge. You see, I is charge.
I is
Charged. It has a luggage. Otherwise, like my grandson said this morning, the real I, you can also say I for it. It doesn't matter after all. But I generally pronounce I, daily life, I, the one who starts to say, I do this, I do that, is charge of concepts. So, when I say, what did I say? I is too much, or too much?
I is too much.
Yeah, I is too much, because this charge I makes you search, and let's not start from the beginning. I want this car because that will give me happiness and so on. It makes you search till all this is somehow you broke your nose, your heart, and whatnot because you thought it was in that way. You come to this, I want the real thing. I don't know who I am. I want that, even though I don't understand. Here, I is too much. When you say I am that, it's because with the physical tongue, and we don't know another tongue. With the physical tongue, we have to divide subject, object, subject. So I am that. Actually, it should be only one word, and this one word even is not it. So, in I am that, there is no I. Expression can be an expression only when it comes dual. Expression can never be one. You understand?
So as all of this is clear, so I am to just know.
But then
that
keep quiet,
everything-
enjoy.
Yes.
Why
so
you go back to your mind? Enjoy.
Yeah.
Let yourself. It's your birthright. Enjoy what you hear. Enjoy what you feel. It's so clear. How to enjoy. Keep quiet. Honor it. mean, what is exactly Soham? Does it not mean I am that?
Soham means that I am.
And Tatwamasi is I am that.
Tatomasi, that you are. Saha, Soham means Saha Aham, that I am. Tatomasi is that you are. Saha.
Yeah.
Soham,
I just
for
see.
me, I said.
Yeah.
Saha Aham,
Okay.
Soham. Tatomasi is the indication.
Achha.
That one has to take it. One of those.
Where are you?
I was just thinking about what you said. About what you
It's
said.
okay. You see, it is not. It's not so crazy to say give a moment to yourself. You see, all the mind presents itself. It looks like all the time, isn't it? Even if it is for the good subject, the God. But it's amazing, huh? It's amazing.
But it doesn't look like it's just about the mind being quiet, because in meditation sometimes my mind is very quiet for a while, but then it doesn't change anything.
It doesn't. You are right, because the meditator is still there. This is the big thing, huh? It's only because of that. So you see, in another way, again we come back to I. I became a meditator, okay, but then what? You are cornered. You're cornered.
So how is it possible to do effort or be without the doer? How?
By not taking the how of the meditator. Because I tell you, a meditator without meditation, is it still a meditator?
No, but we always do something, whether meditation or going to Intermarché. There is
Except in
always
satsang. And then when you free yourself from the belief I is what I am, you can go to Intermarché, make your shopping, and there will not be a new search, because I cannot be taken for serious. Sure.
So not being the doer is not something we can practice before actually knowing
You
that
cannot.
we are.
As a person, you cannot. Right. Very good. But of course, again, I have to speak paradoxally. If you read the life of those who are no more believing they are born, generally they did a lot of tapas before, a lot of meditation. But they also saw suddenly, at some point, here I am. I am cornered. It doesn't change anything. What is it? What is it? And if you have the luck to meet a master or to have at least heard that the one who is asking this question, who is in total failure, is hopeless, helpless, that itself is the problem because one believes in it. Am I this I? And then your that comes, you see? And all other considerations have no more power. That's how it's radical. Mm-hmm. But you have to get probably enough intense experience to see the limits of it. Oh, I'm still unsatisfied. Or I'm still feel separation. You see those deep, or I'm still something which is unbearable. Because of that I am. You see, the real negation means detachment is not to arrive in a certain aspect or achievement or a state of the body or of all the rest which appears. There is negation when there is identification. One suffers or one has pleasure because of something. So the negation says, I'm not this, what I'm presently feeling in whatever this appearance shows. I'm not it. And as the mind doesn't stop much, it will present something, so I'm not this, I'm not that. But because what does it mean? In fact, I'm not this body, I am not this mind. And it doesn't say, I am not this body full of pleasures, and I am this body full of asceticism. No, I am not this body. Who cares what's attached to the body? I'm not this body, I'm not this mind. This is the indication of negation. But of course, it's quite abstract to say so, so one has to apply to whatever is happening to himself, which will be different for everyone, and the same too, but not at the same time.
But when I do that, I see that I still expect in a way that it should change like the emotion I have, that it should be a bit better because
No,
I'm more
you
free.
just drop that.
Yeah.
You just drop that expectation and don't worry. You drop that expectation. Please. It's a poisonous concept. And don't be afraid to go to its opposite.
But free beings are more happier.
Yeah, but not because of this or that. They are happy by their own nature. Not because of this. The happiness to be freed from illusions, you see, is uncomparable. Even if the body is in states of this and that, it's uncomparable. You cannot compare, you cannot understand. It would be too outrageous to say, but I can say, even if you suffer deeply because of this samsaric world, there is a total peace or happiness. But it's not understandable.
This morning I had the thought, I am leaving, and there were feelings, And then the thought came, who comes and who goes? Who's leaving? And then I felt this peace, and I realized, yeah, it's who I am never comes and never goes. And it's, the body that comes and goes.
You
And
start to speak Upanishads.
I don't think I read them since I was 19 years old. But
Good.
also, you said about always being in satsang, some days or weeks
But
ago.
this is satsang.
Yeah, and I realized, and I was thinking, how can I be always in satsang when I'm not here? And then I realized who I am is always in satsang. It's
My
who I'm
dear,
not that comes and goes.
I really appreciate.
Pardon?
I really appreciate.
I really appreciate having been here with you.
When are you going? When are you going?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. As we said, huh? So, so okay. I see a few new faces. Don't be shy, huh? We are on one. Don't be shy. That's it?